Power does not announce itself. It does not knock before entering a room. It does not beg for permission. It does not explain itself to those who cannot understand it. Power observes. It watches silently from the shadows while others rush forward, desperate to be seen, desperate to be heard, desperate to matter. Most men believe power is about where you go. Powerful men understand it is about where you refuse to go. Because every place you enter shapes you. Every environment you tolerate weakens you or sharpens you. Every room you step into either elevates your authority or silently strips it away. This is what weak men never realize. They think power is built through addition. More friends, more exposure, more attention, more presence. But true power is built through subtraction, through absence, through restraint, through deliberate avoidance. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He saw what others could not see. That power is not only about controlling territory, but about refusing to step into territories designed to weaken you. In The Prince, he revealed a truth most men are too emotionally fragile to accept. Not every battle deserves your presence. Not every place deserves your energy. Not every door deserves to open for you. Because some places are traps disguised as opportunities, and powerful men never enter them. The first place powerful men never enter is the place where they are not respected. This is the most dangerous place in existence, and yet it is where weak men spend most of their lives. It could be a room where people interrupt you constantly, a workplace where your value is ignored, a social circle where your absence changes nothing. Weak men stay. They tolerate it. They hope one day, through effort and patience, respect will magically appear. It never does. Because respect is not negotiated, it is perceived. The moment you remain in a place that does not respect you, you silently announce your own worth. You tell the world, without words, that you are willing to accept less. And the world listens. Powerful men understand something deeper. They understand that respect grows strongest in absence, not in presence. When a powerful man feels his presence is undervalued, he does not argue. He does not complain. He does not beg to be seen. He simply removes himself, and suddenly his absence becomes louder than his presence ever was. Because absence creates scarcity, and scarcity creates value. The second place powerful men never enter is the place where emotions are used as weapons. Most environments today are emotional battlefields, places where people manipulate through guilt, through shame, through emotional pressure disguised as morality. They provoke you intentionally. They insult you subtly. They test your reactions constantly, not because they hate you, but because they want to control you. Emotional reactions reveal your weaknesses. They expose your fears. They expose your insecurities. The moment you react emotionally, you surrender control. Weak men react instantly. They defend themselves. They explain themselves. They try to correct every misunderstanding, and in doing so, they reveal everything. Powerful men do the opposite. They remain calm. They observe. They let insults pass through them like wind through stone, because they understand something critical. The person who controls their emotions cannot be controlled by others. Emotional traps only work on those who enter them. Powerful men never enter. The third place powerful men never enter is the place where they are easily accessible. Weak men believe accessibility makes them likable. They answer every message immediately. They say yes to every invitation. They make themselves constantly available. They think this creates connection. It does not. It creates familiarity, and familiarity erodes authority. When people know they can access you anytime, without effort, without resistance, your presence loses weight. You become predictable. And predictability is the death of power. Powerful men are not always available, not because they are arrogant, but because their time is protected. Their attention is protected. Their energy is protected. When they enter a space, it is intentional. It is rare, and rarity creates psychological gravity. People value what they cannot easily reach. People respect what they might lose. This is why powerful men disappear often, not out of fear, but out of strategy, because absence forces the world to feel your importance. The fourth place powerful men never enter is the place where approval is required for survival. This is where most men unconsciously live. They adjust their personalities to be liked. They soften their opinions to avoid conflict. They hide their true nature to maintain acceptance. They become performers, actors in a script written by others. But approval is a leash, and those who depend on it are owned by those who grant it. Powerful men refuse this leash. They are willing to be misunderstood. They are willing to be disliked. They are willing to stand alone. Because they know something most men fear. Authority begins where approval ends. The moment you stop needing validation, you become dangerous. Because now, no one can control you through acceptance or rejection. Now, your actions come from internal certainty, not external permission. And certainty is terrifying to those who rely on manipulation. This is why powerful men often appear distant, not because they lack emotion, but because their identity is not negotiable. The fifth place powerful men never enter is the place of constant explanation. Weak men explain themselves constantly. They explain their decisions. They explain their silence. They explain their boundaries. They believe explanation creates understanding. But excessive explanation creates vulnerability. Every explanation gives others material to question you, to challenge you, to weaken your position. Powerful men understand that mystery strengthens authority. They speak when necessary, and when they decide, they move without apology, without justification, without permission. Because power does not ask to be understood. It acts, and the world adjusts around it. Most people cannot tolerate this level of internal certainty. They need reassurance. They need agreement. They need consensus. Powerful men need none of these things. They trust themselves completely, and this trust creates an invisible barrier between them and the chaos of the world. A barrier that protects their focus, protects their mind, protects their future. But there is another place, a far more subtle place. A place that appears harmless on the surface, yet destroys more powerful men than any battlefield ever could. And powerful men never enter it. The sixth place powerful men never enter is the place where their attention is slowly drained. This place does not look dangerous. It looks comfortable. It looks entertaining. It looks harmless. It is the endless scrolling, the meaningless conversations, the constant noise that fills your mind but gives nothing in return. This is the silent battlefield of the modern world, and most men have already lost without realizing it. Because power is not built through effort alone. It is built through sustained, uninterrupted attention. Attention is the purest form of currency that exists, more valuable than money, more valuable than status. Because money can be taken, status can be destroyed, but attention determines who you become. Whatever holds your attention eventually controls your life. Weak men allow their attention to be hijacked. They give it freely to distractions that weaken their mind. They allow their focus to be fragmented, divided into 1,000 meaningless pieces. They wake up and immediately surrender their mind to the world. Notifications, messages, opinions, noise. And by the time they try to build something meaningful, they are already mentally exhausted. Powerful men refuse this theft. They guard their attention like a fortress. They understand that every moment of distraction is a moment stolen from their future, so they enter silence deliberately. They disconnect deliberately. They create environments where their mind can sharpen without interruption, because a distracted man cannot build power, but a focused man becomes unstoppable. The seventh place powerful men never enter is the place where they are treated as equal by those who have not earned equality. This truth is uncomfortable. It sounds arrogant to those who do not understand it. But power is not about pretending everyone stands on the same level. Power is about recognizing reality clearly, without emotional distortion. Weak men lower themselves constantly. They shrink their presence to avoid intimidating others. They dilute their intelligence. They hide their ambition. They pretend to be smaller than they are, because they fear isolation. They fear standing alone. But powerful men accept isolation as part of their evolution. They do not seek to be above others through words. They simply grow beyond environments that no longer match their level. They do not argue. They do not announce their departure. They elevate silently, and suddenly they are no longer reachable by those who refuse to grow, because power creates distance naturally, not through force, but through transformation. The eighth place powerful men never enter is the place where they are emotionally provoked intentionally. There will always be people who test you, people who insult you subtly, people who challenge your authority, people who try to pull you into emotional reactions. They want to see if they can control you, because the easiest way to defeat a powerful man is to make him lose emotional discipline. The moment you react impulsively, you expose your internal state. You reveal your pressure points. You give your enemies a map of your weaknesses. Weak men react instantly. They defend their ego. They raise their voice. They try to prove themselves. And in doing so, they surrender control completely. Powerful men do something different. They pause. They observe. Because stillness is terrifying. Stillness reveals confidence. Stillness reveals certainty. Stillness reveals control. When you do not react, you deny your opponent the satisfaction of influence. You deny them power over your internal world. And eventually, they expose themselves. Because those who rely on emotional manipulation cannot survive in the presence of emotional discipline. This is why powerful men appear calm even in chaos, because chaos cannot enter a mind that refuses to open its doors. The ninth place powerful men never enter is the place where their identity is slowly reshaped by others. This is the most dangerous place of all, because it happens slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. It begins with small compromises. You adjust your behavior to fit expectations. You silence parts of yourself to avoid conflict. You reshape your personality to maintain acceptance. At first, it feels harmless, but over time, something inside you begins to weaken. Your certainty fades. Your clarity fades. Your identity becomes blurred, until one day you no longer recognize yourself. Weak men adapt to every environment. They become whoever they need to be to survive socially. But powerful men do the opposite. They force environments to adapt to them. They do not betray their nature for acceptance. They do not dilute their vision for comfort. They do not negotiate with their identity, because identity is the foundation of power. The moment you abandon it, everything collapses. This is why powerful men walk away without hesitation, from places, from people, from environments that slowly erode who they are, not because they are emotionless, but because they understand something most men never learn. You cannot build power in an environment designed to weaken you. You cannot become dangerous in a place designed to make you safe. You cannot become extraordinary in a place designed to make you ordinary. So they leave, silently, decisively, without explanation, and in that moment they become untouchable. But there is one final truth, one truth even darker than all the others, a place so deceptive, so seductive, that almost every man enters it willingly, and once inside, a very few ever escape.